Hey, what's up, everybody? Pika out here in Singapore, and I am so excited. One of my favorite people that I get to interview again. This is the second time that I've interviewed her, and I've just learned so much from her over the course of 2018. And I don't know, every time I speak to her, it's something different, it's something new, and I'm so excited to introduce Auguste Crenshaw to you guys. She was actually my coach last year, around this time as well, because I was flustered. I was worried about how I was going to make ends meet, and I did not want to be stuck in that 9-to-5 rat race anymore. So she helped me see, and I've been very blessed to have her in my life. So just as she hops on here, hey,
You know, I'm
how
a
are
big ass
you?
kid. I'm good.
Good. I love
I
your
was
hair,
sitting here,
man.
thank you. I was sitting here chilling, something that people don't think I do.
Oh no, we're good. We're good.
You know what I'm saying. People that know me, that was the inside joke. They know what that meant. Yeah.
So how have you
Hi.
been? How's January treating you so far?
Oh, January is treating me terribly.
What? Don't say it like that.
Hey, Siri. No, it's not treating me bad. I'm still coming on. I'm on the downslide of dealing with a lot of ish, and a lot of people that I know that are in my circle and my network. It's like, wait
hmm
a minute, what happened? It's like, whether it's car, hey, how you doing, Jeff? Whether it's car accidents, attacks with your personality, weird shit going on in your family, your business is booming, things are thriving, and then
Right.
just calamity seems like it's coming from every single direction. And so that has been, well, my last quarter, it was everything outside of my business that was going haywire. And so I'm
Oh,
coming
okay.
out of that. So that's what, yes, doing epic. That's
She's
great. So
always
yeah,
doing epic, Jeff.
yeah, but at the end of the day, you got to have this no nonsense attitude
Yeah.
towards all of that stuff because it's either me or my dream. And wait a minute, I am my dream. So if I quit
Yeah.
on my
Put your
dream,
stuff first.
right, so that's just where I'm at right now. So yeah,
Very cool.
January's been a little shitty, but everything is still all good.
Well, it's all the way up from here then. That's what that
Yeah,
means.
exactly.
So the biggest thing I want everyone to
Mhm.
know is you had books come out last year, and you
Yes.
have a bundle that's available, and I don't even know how you do it, man, seriously. So books about how to close the sale,
Hmm.
books about branding. And
Hmm.
I know you helped me kind of clarify what my message was supposed to be, because I mean, I had an idea, but I didn't know how to
Hmm.
explain it to people. And I love the way you teach, because you really do pull out, all of your examples from your own life and your own journey in order to make sure that people really understand what it is you're trying to say. And
Yeah.
you don't take nonsense from anybody, because there are a couple of times where I wanted to duck and disappear and hide from the world, and you're like, yo, where are you? What are you doing?
Hiding is not an option. No, it's not.
But I
Yeah.
tried. I did. I
Yeah.
tried. And it
I mean,
wasn't happening.
but everybody does at some point. You hide behind something. Even people that are busy, actively building their business, they aren't necessarily doing all that they can do. So
Yeah.
they're still doing the same thing. But yeah, I did. I wrote 4 books. I did. Well,
hmm
actually, the anniversary of the first book, which was Don't Bitch About It, Be About It, was during this month of when I launched. But between now and then, I wrote 3 other books. And
Right.
it was about all of the foundational stuff that every entrepreneur that I've ever dealt with has had to fix or determine in order to be able to do their business. And so I broke every single aspect of it down. And, for people, it's so easy to write a book. Oh, I just collaborated all of my blog posts. It's not one of those things, you guys. This is me saying, if I was your coach,
hmm
what would I say to you?
This is the
Really?
dialogue you would have.
Yes, yes. Going through the entire conversation, what are the potential things you're going to be thinking? How would I respond to that? Giving you examples from multiple industries so that you can see that this is not this doesn't apply to my industry. No, this is about you being a business owner. And I think that what's wrong with a lot of people as entrepreneurs is there's this mindset that online business is different than offline business, or if I'm this kind of entrepreneur, it's going to be different for me. But the rules of engagement are the same for everybody. And
Yeah.
that's what I really wanted to drive home when I started writing all of them.
And I love that, because honestly speaking, for you to be able to pull me out of my hiding phase meant that you've been there. You've been there too, and you've seen it in other clients. So when you say
Mm-hmm.
write a book, I'm thinking you know your content so well that you can explain it to a 6-year-old. That's what I feel like when when you say I wrote a book. A lot of people do. They throw together a bunch of blog posts and, okay, that's enough pages. I think that we can call that a book, but that's not the way you do it at all. And I love that you started off with don't bitch about it, be about it, because that's kind of the spinoff from your podcast, right? Your podcast is Real Women Don't Bitch. And I like that because it's very straightforward. And you do have guests on there who also have the same mindset where, look, I'm not going to make excuses for myself anymore. I'm just going to get out there and start doing. And that's where all of this really comes from. There's only so much information you can hoard. And I've done that. I have piles of stuff that I've downloaded and just kept. I haven't done anything with it. But I could say I have the information. I just haven't tried it to see if it fits for me. But I like that you make sure that we actually do the work. You're a practical coach. I feel like that's the way you are in person. You've done a lot of collaborations.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely am. You said so much, and
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I get excited.
There's so much energy between both of us when we're speaking.
Yeah,
and so, actually, the Don't Bitch About It, Don't Bitch About It, Be About It was a spinoff from a summit, and I interviewed a lot of women that were willing to talk about rape, molestation, financial issues, being on welfare, coming out the hole from filing bankruptcy, anything from any spectrum that you could have held on to that could have blocked you from being able to blossom as an entrepreneur. I had these women say, this is my story, but this is how I still stood. This is what I had to do. This is how I got help. Because for me personally, I believe that's what's missing in the industry. Everybody has 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps to one, do these 4 things. But at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to you have to look yourself in the mirror. You have a crash course with getting to know you. And it's not it's not the same. Like, for instance, with selling, you could work for a corporate entity and sell all freaking day long, right? And if and most of us, we're goal oriented, we're ambitious, and so we'll get out there, we'll be like, I'm at 80% closing. Hey, how you doing, sweetie? And you go, I did this. But if your rates go down, you'd be like, oh yeah, it just sucks. The company's reputation is bad. It's not my fault. They don't like
the
this
story
product.
changes.
Yeah,
it's like justifying.
We could deflect, and we could put it off on the company. But when you're selling your books, when you're selling your podcast, your shirts, and your programs, your products, and your services, women especially, but it's everybody. This is men too. But when the person says, I don't want it, it's like they don't want me. Your brain
you get very
isn't
offended.
saying that. But emotionally, the way you take it very personally. You're not able to just pick it up and keep on moving. And so I've noticed that void that nobody, we got to really dig hard, like you said, on a practical level. But even though I'm very practical, I'm really spiritual too. And so it's like, let's talk about what we're really dealing with. And the bottom line is everybody didn't go to that summit. And so my brain was in a frenzy. How do I get this to more people? I'm going to podcast it and I'm going to write a book. And so that's where this motivation came from. And I threw it out there. And so I collaborate on a consistent basis with a lot of people, whether that's on projects or programs or the podcast or whatever. And we got to do that because, to be honest with you, there's going to reach a point in your business where your network is going to determine how your business expands. You can only start off solo for so long and hustle and do all of that stuff. But then eventually you got to have connections.
Yes. And I love the fact that you brought up the aspect of you that's actually spiritual as well. That's a lot of where we connect the most. We have the most energy when we talk. But that leads into the fact that as an entrepreneur, as a woman, not just one thing. It's not just a business owner. And you don't like treating the symptoms. I mean, anyone can say, well, have you done this and have you done that? But you like to dig in and be like, okay, but why have you not done that? What is it about that scares you? What is it that, you feel or you're telling yourself that you can't achieve if you do it this way? Why are you stalling on this? Something about our journey when I was one of your clients, I started off, pedal to the metal. I was going. I was knocking out everything you had on a list for me to do. I knocked out. And then I kind of stalled and I stopped. And because I set the speed, the initial speed with you, you knew there was something else going on. And you were able to be like, all right, well, let's talk about you for a minute, put the business aside, because you want to know what the core problem is, not just treat the symptoms. And I love that because that's how I am as well. And not many coaches do that. A lot of people They're happy to
Yep.
sell products, and they're happy to sell one product for this symptom and one product for that symptom, and little nuggets of stuff.
Yep.
But eventually, that might work for you for a little bit. Eventually, that problem will pop up again unless you you figure out where it's coming from. What it is that you're telling yourself that you can't do this because I can't do this until, like, all those stupid things, right?
Oh yeah. I remember I had a client that was like, I'm ready to raise my prices. And I was like, well, then just raise them. And she was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not going to do it just yet. And I was like, why not? And she was like, I just really feel like I need to, get more testimonials at this price point. And
Uh-huh.
to condense the conversation, I said
Yeah.
to her, how many testimonials do you need to feel satisfied? She's like, huh? I was like, yeah. If
Oh.
it's based on testimonials, then let's
Yeah.
set the
That's a
goal.
legit question.
Do you need 3 clients in order for you to feel worthy to raise your price? Because what you're going to do, you're going to have to put some parameters around this. And
Yes.
she was like, yeah. I said, yeah, no, I need to know if what you're saying is that's really based on your standards of what you believe you have to do, or is that I'm not ready yet, and that's the way you're going to kind of
This is
try
the
to
stall.
justify it. Yeah, and then you end up ultimately stalling. And so that tripped her up. That I did that. I was like, oh, testimonials are your issue? Well, if that's the case, then let's set a goal. How many do you need? But I wanted to share something because you were talking. I wanted to share this because I shared this on Facebook.
Okay.
There's this woman that she wants to work with me really, really, really bad. And I am one of those coaches where I am open about having low and high ticket products. And I
Yep.
know that might sound crazy to some people, but you usually find in the industry, the big thing is high ticket, high ticket.
Yeah.
If you want to get to 7 figures, you need to be charging $5,000 for somebody to speak to you for 10 minutes. And listen, there's a place for high tickets in this world, and it absolutely does work. And what I can't stand is that for instance, I knew this one coach who was like, yes, you only need to do high ticket. But when I got on her email list, she had flash sales for like $497 and $297.
That kind
Everybody,
of that's two
look,
different messages I hear.
exactly. It's one of those things but because of what they're hearing in the marketing, people are taking that in and thinking like that. Well, how do I do this? And not to say that people can't sell a cake for
Right.
$5,000, but you just started baking cakes in your home and you want to be established. So I'm going to need you not to be focusing on your product and making it a $5,000 cake. Or like with you,
Yeah.
you got some bomb ass T-shirts, which I need to
Thank
order
you.
one. You're not going to be selling that T-shirt for $5,000, at least not right now. You're
Not ever. I don't think they'll.
not ever,
Oh
but
my
you know
God.
what I'm saying. I was gonna
Yeah.
be sarcastic, and I don't know if I
No, I
could
know what you
reference
mean.
Kanye, but like his
Well,
Yeezys.
yes.
So it's not that it isn't possible. He got his shirt and
hmm
it just got a symbol. But my
I'm just
whole
not on his
point,
level.
no, I don't think any of us are.
Ever.
But anyway, so I have these different. I have a different array. I have a vast array of products, and I meet people where they are, and I'm in every aspect of that. So it's not like, oh, since you're paying me low ticket, all you get is recordings from me. I don't do that. And this woman
Never.
was like, no, I never have and I never will, because the day that I take the human element out of this, then I lost the passion for what I do. How do
Exactly.
you say? How do you say you want to change the world? You want to do something like what I'm doing, but you're trying to figure out how you eliminate the access to you. But that's a whole other story. I'm sorry. I'm going down
No,
different
I'm
tangents.
sorry. I said something and see? Okay. So this
Let,
lady.
let me say this, because then I know you're gonna have some kickback. You're gonna have something
Mhm.
to say. And so she was gonna join my group. She didn't join, and just being out there, it was a $97 price point. And so she
Mhm.
sent me this message, and she's like, "Oh my God, I've just got to be honest. I'm so embarrassed, but I'm not making any money, and I can't afford it. I'm used to that because most people pay to get everything looking pretty instead of just getting out there and making money." But I decided to hop on a call with her, and I said, "Let me just have a moment with you so I can encourage you, period."
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I gave her an exercise to do.
Okay.
I said, if you really, really, really want to get in my group, I want you to wake up every single day and I want you to look in the mirror. The key is to look in the mirror, not just to say it. Look in the
Okay.
mirror and say, what am I doing in order to get into August's program? What am I doing
Mhm.
in order to be able to cause my business to become more profitable? And
Yes.
don't just ask yourself one time. Look in the mirror and say it
Really,
again
really
and
feel it.
say
Yeah.
it again. And I said, I guarantee you, if it doesn't happen right away, by about the third day, you ought to be in tears.
Yeah.
And you want to know why? Because part of you's gonna raise up and it's gonna say, I'm doing every damn thing I can. This is not my fault.
The
I've
first
tried
day.
this, I've done this, and blah blah blah. This isn't fair. The other part of you is gonna be like, remember when you saw that woman and you wanted to walk up to her and say something, but you shrunk? You justified why you wouldn't say something to her? Your subconscious is going to start answering that question in your conscious, and you're going to realize you're not doing everything that you can do.
No.
And the day that you feel that level of conviction, when you really want it, you'll get it. And you're a prime example of that. You were like, what I got to do to work with you? And if people knew what was going on in your life,
yeah, well,
and you still made it happen, your story alone is one to make, if she heard that, she would probably be like, oh, if for a night, you were working with me one-to-one. She's trying to get in a $97 program. And so all of that just to say, it's things like this that, like you said, I'm very practical, but I will cause you, whoever you are, I will cause you to face yourself. It's not about my systems. It's not about my processes. It's not about my methodologies. It's about who are you.
It's a tough process, but that's why I respect you so much, because as much as you say, okay, even in the contract, I committed to $1,000 a month for 3 months because I wanted it that badly. And at the time I did not have the money, but I made sure that I had it, before the next payment was due or whatever. So I found a way. But your contract clearly states how often you're expecting to have calls and everything, how often, we're expecting to turn in homework and stuff like that. And it's very clear. I love that. But you are not one to talk about it, and then underdeliver. You would rather promise a certain level of commitment, but because you care, because you really get invested, you wanted to know who I was and where I came from. All the questions that we talked about really dug into who I was. And some of the things I talked to you, I haven't told anybody in years. But because of that level of commitment, that interaction we had, you were able to see when you call me on my bullshit as soon as it happened. You know what I mean? And even if you're not working with Auguste Crenshaw on a one-on-one basis, there is no excuse, because the amount of content you put out there on a daily basis. How often do you go live on Facebook, and then you have your podcast, and then you have posts, and then you have your own Instagram page? Like, you have stuff, tons of stuff. I mean, if you don't trust me, please go check out SoundCloud, look up Auguste Crenshaw. She's right there. Real women don't bitch. Because at that point in your life, you're like, all right, enough is enough. If I continue complaining, I'm not getting anything done. So real women don't bitch. They are about their work. They do the work. And I love that about you.
Hey, Shaz. Here's something that it's a tough cookie to swallow, is that I run into women all the time, and I always see greater for them than they see for themselves.
You do.
Because I understand where they are and where they need to be. But it's also because I understand the structure of what can happen to you when you're setting up your business. So the average person is like, oh, well, I'm going to make this thing, and so this is what I can sell, and this is what I can do. And I'm like, but what if you did it like this? I've just shot your value through the roof exponentially. And it is not because I had a grand idea that I'm imposing on you. I'll use this for an example, and I know Camille won't mind. When I first met Camille was someone who came to me and she was like, I want more African Americans to be bilingual. I want more of them to learn how to speak Spanish. And she had this whole thing.
Dream.
She had this whole thing plotted out, and she thought that she was dreaming big. She's like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out here, and I got these books. I seen them on Amazon. And if these kids can just see images of other colored people speaking Spanish instead of buying the books with Caucasians, yada, 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 then they'll be more encouraged. And automatically, from a business perspective, I'm like, so you're going to buy something from a middleman that's already, you're going to make 2 cents off a dollar. You think that she was thinking from a point of passion. And so I started asking her questions. I was like, well, what difference? And sometimes I'm antagonistic on purpose.
But it's good. Yeah.
It's a good kind of antagonism. I'm like, well, what's the point of doing that? And she's like, well, do you know that in this city and these cities and these people, they don't have this and they don't have this and nobody's checking on us and this looks like this. And I'm like, okay, but what's the big deal about this? And why can't you do it? Because I'm not going to be anybody's tutor and people think they're going to pay me $25. And all of this stuff started coming out of her. I was like, whoa. So you really could be doing more. You could be a language coach, but you don't really know how to put yourself out there for real as a language coach. And because you perceive that people will think of you as a tutor, you won't put that label on yourself because you don't understand the differentiation in the language that makes someone not even come to you talking about $25. And so she's somebody that started with me out the gate, and in less than 90 days, her business, it just took off. But most of the women that I run into, they say they're running their businesses. They are running their businesses. They are doing some work. They are making some money. But when they decide to stop being afraid and let somebody like me look at them and see what's at the root of their vision, I can challenge them and say, I don't care how much you did, you can do more. And then when I look at the core components of their business, I can say, do you realize that if you keep building your dream like this, you're going to create what I call an entrepreneur job? And when you look at for real, how much money you're making, it's only a matter of time before you burn out because your profitability doesn't match your effort for your passion. And you can become passionate about something and it actually ends up becoming your pain. And so I'm sitting here and I'm doing everything that I can to keep on making products and services available for women to say, listen to me, sisters, I got you, but I'm telling you, if you just give me 2 seconds with you to look at what you got going on, you're going to realize that you're just going to be working really hard for yourself. That's not what entrepreneurship is about. Entrepreneurship is about setting yourself up so that you're not looking like everybody else that has to take a bottom of the barrel job. But most entrepreneurs, that's what it ends up looking like at the end of the day. You've created an entrepreneur job.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the love.
Yes.
I was flying at the screen. Yeah.
So honestly, if you haven't figured it out yet just by listening to this lady talk, she knows what she's talking about. She wants you to win. She knows there's enough for all of us. I don't see how you could give any more than you are at the moment. And a lot of it is for free, you guys. So please, please, please follow Auguste Crenshaw. Yeah. She has a lot to say, and all of it is legitimate. She wants you to think. She's going to put, podcast titles up there that are going to be like, huh? Wait. Let me go listen and figure out what it is actually she's talking about. She's not going to be very blunt about it, but I like that. You like to make people think because from where you are, the journey that you've been through, you've been an entrepreneur forever. You've done all kinds of things. She is a talented hairstylist. She obviously writes. You've done it. You were an Uber driver for a while. You've done it all. So if she isn't overqualified to be able to ask you these questions that are hard, they make you get a real good hard look at yourself and stop complaining, stop bullshitting yourself, stop lying to yourself, and see if you really are doing everything that you could possibly, if you can make it as efficient as possible so you're not tied to your computer like a 9-to-5 as well. She can actually make you love what you do even more because your reach is better. It's smarter. It's more efficient.
And because she's on here, hopefully she'll comment and say something. I always ask when people are watching me. Shaz is somebody that I don't really know like that, but I had a membership at this massage therapy place, and the guy that used to work there, he was like, she's good too. But you know how you get that person, and that's the only person you will let touch you?
Yes.
And he left.
Yes.
And he left. He left, and I had one more massage left, and I went ahead and went to the massage therapy place, and I met her. And she was talking about doing some things with her own business on the side. And while I was getting a massage, I just decided to volunteer information. And I was like, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I think it's your lucky day. You're massaging a business coach. So let me just give you some insights. Let me say a couple things to you. Why don't you take your dream and do something else with it? Because you can be going so much further. You can do things further. You can do it forward faster, without getting into all the personal details of our conversation. And all of that just to say, I do what I do because I really love it. I really do it. I eat it. I sleep it. I breathe it. Thank you, beautiful, for confirming. It's not always about money to me. My
Yeah.
money is going to come regardless. And because I love what I'm doing, I understand that sometimes I could just drop seeds off on somebody, like the woman that was interested in getting in my program. I didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
pick up the phone and say, let's talk for a few minutes. If we actually
Yeah.
talked for about 45 minutes, the average person could have been like, okay, sweetie, well, just don't worry. Make sure you sign up before this time because
Yeah.
the limiter is the price is going up by this date.
It's leaving soon. Quickly,
You
catch
know,
the train. Yeah.
and I know the tricks, I know the gimmicks and all of that stuff. I've never had to do any of those things. I'm an excellent saleswoman. If I get you on a call and that's what you're supposed to do and that's where you're supposed to be, not only will you feel so comfortable talking to me because I'm not sleazing anything, we're having a
Yeah.
real conversation and I'm getting to know you, your vision, and your business. The day you guys wake up, and this is not about you even working with me, because there are other coaches out there that are just like me. All I want you guys
Yes,
to
Chaz.
do,
Usually it is.
you know, the one combo we had was a life-changing
They're
experience. Thank
usually your
you,
life-changing
beautiful.
conversations. Yeah.
Thank you. All I want you all to do is to say, hold up. I'm an entrepreneur. There are rules of engagement out there.
Hmm.
I know all of the psychological bullshit that I'm supposed to put out there. This one-time offer, this special bonus, put these limiters, put these. When you get through with all of that stuff, I need you to realize that the power in being an entrepreneur is that you use your mind and that
Yes.
you think. And any coach that is more concerned about their process than they are about your vision has no business being your coach, because anybody and everybody's a massage therapist, a life coach, a healer, a business
Hmm.
coach, a sales coach, or whatever it is. The only one unique identifying factor is you. Everybody can say they have a unique selling proposition. So what does that mean? You guys, we get to having battles over words. Hi, I'm August Crenshaw, and I can help you find your ideal client. Well, my name is Stephanie. I help people with their ideal clients too. How can I say it different? Hi, I'm
Buzzwords.
Stephanie. I'm going to help you find your soulmate client. Okay, well, Dad, August is out there and she said ideal client and Stephanie said soulmate client. What can I do? I'm going to help you find your assigned clients, your aligned clients. And we get so busy doing the wordplay that we
Yeah.
don't understand that when you get through with the wordplay, that doesn't matter. If you don't get to the core of your being, the soul behind your vision, and learn to allow that to come out and to be free, until you show up, you don't grow. It's literally just that freaking simple. That's the differentiating factor. Yes, you do need to be able to create products and services. Yes, you do need a unique selling proposition. Yes, you should have some ideas about how to sell and to market yourself. But even if you flimsy as hell at it, passion,
Hmm.
coupled with discipline, will always trump all of that. And I can prove it because for a season, that's what I had to do in order to get where I had to get. And I said, let me shortcut this shit for all of the other people that ever come and work with me so they don't have to go through all of the stuff that I did. And woman
Exactly.
after woman after woman after woman, I have taken their experience and condensed it down like this. Real
Sorry
talk.
about that. It's a plane. But I love it because that's how I feel as well. You don't have to fluff it up. Because you want to get on the phone call with everybody, if you feel like there's some kind of a connection that you might be able to help, yes, you're going to give away nuggets for free. And it's not because you're doing it to bait them into coming in with you. You just want to give because you know this one piece might actually change the way they see their world and be able to do more. So
What's the
that's
difference?
not what everyone will do. Not everyone's going to be interested in helping like that. Everyone's going to be like, well, for the
No.
next 5 words to come out of my mouth, I need $10. Stupid stuff like that. But there are those people out there, and you're right. Everything is caught up in how do I describe this a little bit different from everybody else, but it's the same product. Whereas you, because of your passion, I can feel how you love what you're talking about. I can feel that you're interested in me, actually interested in me. And for all of my experience in hospitality, I know for a fact that
No.
product, and I know it's full of quality, I only have to explain the price once to you. And I will never have to apologize for quality. I will never have to say, oh, I'm sorry, but the stain in the corner of that room, I'll move you to another room. I don't have to do that ever. If I know what I'm talking about, if I believe what I'm talking about, and the passion is really there to help, not to make money,
Yes.
You know. And another thing that leads into, because I know you do this as well, it's important for you to feel a connection with the client just as much as it is for the client to feel a connection with you. And you have
Absolutely.
no problem saying, you know what, I don't think I'm the best fit for you. You may need to try. You may give them references of somebody else that might be a better fit, but I love that you are confident enough to be like, no, I don't think this is going to be that great a fit for
Mhm.
both of us. I want you to get the most
Yep.
out of your time, so I would rather you find someone else. So your product
Yeah.
itself, your passion, your integrity means a lot to me.
Thank you. And that right there, that's the stuff that people aren't talking about. They're not talking about the conversations and the things that are really happening on the back end, of building the business. And something as simple as saying that, oh, I should turn this down. If you don't, you'll find yourself just doing stuff for money. And I challenge all of my clients. I'll be like, why are you working with that person? Especially when somebody's new working with me, they'll be like, yeah, I got this one person, I'm doing a pro bono, or I did this. Oh, but they get on my nerves. They don't do that. I say, yeah, your messaging, your focus, all of that stuff is off. And so you just took anything because you'll do anything for money. This isn't a job. You're not stuck in a cubicle next to somebody you don't
Right.
like. You're not stuck working for a boss that you resent because you know that you're smarter than them, or they have textbook knowledge but you have
Mhm.
actual physical, life experience. This isn't the same thing. And as soon as people get a handle on understanding that entrepreneurship is one of the most spiritually challenging and liberating
Yes.
journeys that you could ever
Yes.
go on, then you're going to require more intimacy from people. You're going to require a more intimate touch from anybody it is that you decide to work with. For me personally, like you said, whether it's the books or whether it's the podcast, whether it's a phone call, whether it's me doing live videos on one platform. And yes, you know what? If you go to IG, you go to Facebook, or you go to LinkedIn, the three primary places that I am, you're going to look and you're going to, I don't just take the same thing and post it on every single
Yeah. Exactly.
platform.
Exactly.
It's not like that, but that's because I'm oozing with information. And that is where you guys need to be. You need to be in this place where you're not doing something for money, where you're doing it for pure passion, and the money is always going to follow. I've had complete strangers come across a video, meet me the same day, and say, I want to do the $4,000 program. I've
Right.
had people that say they want to work with me and can't come up with $97. I've had, it doesn't make the point is, all of those, the things that people say, they don't matter.
No.
When
Mm-mm.
some people are just looking for an answer, and if they can't get the answer that they want, then they shy away.
Right.
Some people are really looking to pull the answer from out of themselves. They know that there's something inside of them. That's the person who I'm meant to work with. The person that says, look, I'm better than this. And whether it's
Yes.
because your parents put you down, whether it's because life beat you up, if it's because somebody violated you, something happened that puts you down,
Where you
and it's
decided to dim your
looming
light.
and
Mhm.
looming over you. Yes, and so you dimmed your life, and those horror stories
Hey, Avina.
have hurt you. Hello, beautiful. That you're not allowing you to come out. That's what this whole
Yep.
thing is about. You coming out. And I said it a multiple amount of times, but I just, for whatever reason, evidently it needs to be expressed for whoever's watching now or who's ever going to be watching later.
Yes.
You need to work with somebody that's going to bring you out, that is concerned about your power, about your greatness. I know I'm great. I know I'm powerful. I know that I understand that I have a frequency that I can say, Mary had a little lamb, and people gonna be like, yes, she did. She had a little lamb. You know how some people can sing
Yeah.
Twinkle, Twinkle,
Uh-huh.
Little Star, and you'd be like,
Uh-huh.
ooh, that's my jam. I understand my power. But what good is my power if I'm not doing everything that I can to latch into the frequency of someone else who has that same power, but they just haven't cut the switch on yet? It's not about
Exactly.
me transferring my power to you. It's about me allowing my power to carry you for just a second until you come out of your shell and you
Yes.
operate in your own power. And so, as a
Yeah.
coach, I see myself as a person down there in the trenches. And I have to use sports analogies all the time
That's cool.
because for me in the coaching industry, what's happening is take my 3 steps, now go do this. But that's not what coaches do. Coaches say, here's the book, here are the steps. But before you even get to do the steps, Let's get that grit and grind. So for them, it's the push-ups. For me, it's the mindset work. It's to pull out all of that other stuff. Then it's to run the plays. And this is your marketing strategy, and you're doing all of this stuff. But while you running the plays, my clients would tell you, I'll be like, hey, I noticed you put a really good post up, and somebody said this. I was just wondering, did you reach out to them?
Did you contact them? Yes.
Did you contact? And they'd be like, dang, how you see it? And I didn't even see it, because I just want you to understand that this is what it looks like. And then it might be some more mindset work, because then I'm going to realize that you feel awkward with having those kind of conversations. A coach is there doing practice, and the coach is there on game day. And when things are looking kind of crappy, coach might call timeout. We might have to have an extra session on the side.
Reset the mindset,
and then we got to get back out there, and we got to play again. So even just the sheer essence of that, this field that I'm in, that it uses the terminology, the word coaching, it should require, you guys, it should require more for people. And these folks that are out there telling you, well, you know what, if you want that much of me, I'm going to need you to sell your soul. If you really believe in your dream, as if you can manipulate success and make it come any faster. You can't make it be any more expedient than it's going to be. You can't put a timetable on you growing into who you're supposed to be.
It is absolutely spiritual growth.
It is.
That's not easy, and it's not on a timetable.
No, it's not. And the ones that are there, you know what I'm saying? The ones that are there, they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you that, I've been doing this for 7 years, and I finally got my breakthrough. Some of y'all only been promoting your business for 7 months, maybe even 2 years, and you mad because you're not where you want to be. I know why you're mad, because I know the coaches tell you that they have 3 steps. They have 3 years to 7 figures. And just but what y'all don't
30K in 30 days, whatever,
6 steps to 6 figures in 6 days or 6 months. But in the fine print, it'll always say, these are results for exceptional people. And then they'll tell you that there are too many variables in your situation. So my question is, how bad do you really want it? How bad do you really want it? And are you willing to do what it is to reap your harvest? I had a woman earlier who was just telling me, I don't feel like this is right. I'm not where I should be right now. And I've done all of these things. But she did a lot of false starts. She would start and she would stop, and she would start and she would stop. I said, sweetie, I'm not here to condemn you. But she was like, I'm tired of sowing seeds. When I'm going to reap my harvest? I said, well, let's just look at this. If you get out there and you plant a garden, whether you do it manually or even with a heavy ass machine, tilling the soil, because I've done it, it's hard as hell. And when you may feel like you did the woo, but guess what? You still gotta wait. Seeds. You still got a lot of stuff to do. And then after that, you don't just get to sit and say, well, look at all the work I did. Let me get my stuff. No, you still have to, if you want to do things more organically, use your red pepper to fight off some of the insects. You need to possibly have built a fence around it. Even though the sun is going to shine, the rain is going to fall, you may have to still water it some yourself. So if you started and you stop, y'all, for some of y'all that don't know me, I curse, you shitted on your harvest. So you can't sit here and say, I did all of this work. No, when you have a lot of false starts, something inside of you is building up in your character. You're learning some lessons, but you keep on studying the growth of the actual harvest from a financial perspective, from a growth perspective in your business, those results. So like I was saying, sweetie, that's an entitlement mentality. I keep on telling people, entitlement mentality. If I
do this, I should.
Exactly. That's not a phrase that's meant for millennials. It's just meant for this microwave ass society. And so the question isn't, have you sown some seeds? It's, have you taken care of the seeds that you've sown? And will you stay in there long enough? Because if you don't tend to the harvest, and then you got to go do the damn labor to go get, you got to go and get the vegetables. You got to still pick them up, and you still got to rinse them off, and you still got to cook them if you let you go eat them raw, whatever, but you still have work to do. So we got
it's never just do and then it's done. Exactly. No. So part of that, I wanted to reach back into, something you mentioned earlier. Yes, there is an entitlement mentality out there, and people think, if I do this within a couple of days, I'll get it back. Yeah, you might get it back, but it's not sustainable. It's not something that'll carry you for a while. You're going to have to keep doing it at that level, and that's not smart. The same thing with your clients. if you find you are dreading talking to a client, that client is not for you. Why? Because suddenly you're not giving your best effort. You're not doing it with helping them in mind. You're trying to just finish out the 40 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever and just get on with your life. But you don't realize that that transference of energy, you don't feel good about that conversation, that carries into other clients too. It's like, it touches everything. So protect your energy. If you're going to be providing a service, make sure you get the right clients. And if you find at some point that's not working out, stand up, speak up, say something.
Yeah.
Because if you don't protect your product, you are the product. If you don't protect your product, it's not going to last very long.
No.
You're going to tell yourself it's not working and you're not good enough. And that's not the case.
No. And you also have to ask yourself, where's your heart at? I mean, just think about when some of those conversations came up between you and I when we were working together. Some of those conversations were, you could have said, you know what, August, how about we just don't even talk about this? I'll deal with this myself. And when I come out of it, then I'll get back with you. But there were times when I knew we were going to have difficult conversations. But my mind was on your breakthrough, not on the difficult conversation. And so some of you guys, you're not really having hard clients. You're not dealing with difficult situations. You haven't owned up to the reality of what it takes to do in this business. You want to be a healer. You want to be a transformational coach, but you just want people to you want them to move through your processes in hyper speed, not understanding that's why you're the expert. Not understanding you have a gift and an ability to do something in an accelerated manner, to see things at a higher level, and you're supposed to have a spirit of patience to work people through it. And so I'll be like, look, I understand this is bothering you. I understand this is making you mad. I promise you, I'm not asking you these questions to piss you off, but I just want you to think about this. And yes, I know I'm challenging everything that you're saying, but I know that there's something missing and I can't make up this story for you. So I'm just going to keep saying shit until you vomit it out and get out of nowhere. You're going to be like, wow.
You're going to make me mad first and I'm going to be like, hey, but that's what I needed. See, I don't want yes people around me. There are plenty of those people who, you're great, and they're talking shit about me behind my back. I want people who really care about me. I want people to really know the difference between when I'm upset and I'm hiding it, or when I'm okay, and I'm happy, and I'm bubbly, and you knew that from the get-go. You could tell when I am, like my homeostasis, what my base level was, so that when I dip below it, you could tell already. If I haven't posted a couple times on Facebook, you know, hey, where is this woman? What is going on? I haven't seen her in a couple of days. You know.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, listen to this whole conversation. There is fire in here. Seriously. Auguste Crenshaw knows what she's doing. She is one of those few people out there who really is a coach at heart. She is that halftime coach you want that's going to be like, you hit a plateau, so what? Maybe you're not hitting your free throws the way you want to. You need to go back to basics. What are your basics? What do you know you're good at? And start from there. She's going to make sure that she's taking care of all of you, not just, your sales pitch and the copy that you've written and how you've set up your process for email marketing, whatever. She knows what it takes. And if you haven't figured that out by now in this conversation, I don't know what to say. Go back and start over and start from the beginning. Get carried away with this conversation with us.
Yeah, there's enough energy in the conversation where you should, and I'm just saying this because a lot of people will tell me, if I just listen to your videos right now for the space that I'm in, if
you get hyped.
That's enough to carry me to say, you know what, I can keep going. And a lot of people tell me that that's what they use to carry them until they get their financial breakthrough, and then it's for us to move forward. And so that's my thing. If I can bless you and I can give you something and that's all you needed in order to get you going, then great. And if I can bless you to build you up to the point where now you can afford to work with me, then that's great too. But one way or another, I'm always going to get mine. Nothing's going to stop me from getting it, period. So,
hey, Danielle.
Yes, hello. Sorry. I meant to say hi because I saw her.
No, it's okay. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you are so humble that you would even go so far as to be like, you know what? I did a podcast on that a couple of weeks ago or a couple of years ago, and you're going to send me the link so I can at least listen to it. It's free, you guys. Like, how many people are going to dig back and know their content so well that they can send you, hey, go listen to this. It has the answer to your question. Whatever it is that you're seeking, I know I've said it before. Let me go pull it up. Who else is going to do that for y'all? And no, I'm not a paid spokesperson. I love her. This is the difference.
and people will tell you that whether they're my client or not, I do that all the time. And so Sometimes I hop on a call and I volunteer information. A lot of times I'll be like, hey, are you subscribed to the podcast? Look, hold up. And then I will go back. And sometimes it's actually been videos, because before I got into podcasting, I actually used to write down my videos and what the topics were, just so I could easily find them to scroll through Facebook. But still, nevertheless, and that's the other thing too. A lot of people can't do that because they're just fishing out they're pushing out marketing jargon. This is my soul. This is my life. And so there's going to be consistency in what I'm saying to all of you all. The only thing that's going to change is the product that I'm talking about, or the issue that I'm speaking to, when I'm going directly into your issue. But my foundational principles are on point. They're spot on. That's not going to change, which means that at any given time, at the drop of a dime, I can say, look, this is what you need. You know, listen to this. So you can't say that money is an excuse. Too many people were angels for me throughout the course of my life, not even just with building this business online, just in my life, period. That's that pay it forward for real mentality that I know that's inside of me. And I've even coached people for free. If I see something in someone, I've reached out to them and said, you know what, how would you like to be my client? Now, I still send them through the whole process. We're going to modify where the money is, but you're going to fill out this contract, because you have to show up and you have to commit. Because I'm going to coach you like you paid. And everybody, you can go back and check my records. Everybody that I've coached for free has said, damn, I felt like I paid her. I've never dropped the ball. I don't know how to give a little. I absolutely do not.
This is why I like people like this. You are your brand. I've never seen you outside of this character. This is who you are on a daily basis. For y'all who don't know, whenever I do a live interview with anybody, I do not prep them. I don't give them a bunch of questions to, you know, practice with. This is who they are. I want you to see what I see. I want you to actually see the person that I've come to know and love and respect, because they've been through that hustle their own way. Hey, Camille.
Hola, maestra.
So this is for real. This is live on purpose. We are on two sides of the globe at the moment, and somehow we cross paths, and I cannot be more grateful, because she has given so much. So there are some of us who actually give all the time. The content is out there for free, and whether you pay for it or not, we're still sending the same message. It's not one for the people that are paying and one for the people that aren't. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And I could not be more blessed to have you in my life. I can't wait to see what you do this year. I know so far January has given you a little bit of trouble, but you know, I'm pretty sure you're going to give the trouble back, so it'll be fine. It'll balance itself out.
Look, I'm going to get double for my trouble, but you've been giving me so many accolades, but I need to spend them back to you. One of the reasons why I'm able to do what I do is because God has blessed me to have amazing clients. And you and I can it might take us a couple months to do it, but we can be like, we just need to hop on, you know, a call, and we can talk with each other and just catch up and have conversation. Your energy, you are exactly the same way. You are your brand. Your essence and your spirit, you're solution oriented, you're loving, you're kind, you're giving, you're all of these things all the time. And so there's a mutual reciprocation in my relationships with my clients. So this isn't just this thing where I'm constantly giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, because if that's all it was, I would be depleted. But I feel recharged. You're people that recharge from you.
Yes. And I feel the same about you. We could be talking about just, you know, how the kid's doing or whatever, and it's enough for us to laugh a little, relax a little, and be like, all right, let's go back at this and get it done.
Yes. We did that earlier.
We did. It was nice. Well, Auguste, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. As always, this will not be the last time. We will keep coming back and, you know, checking on each other every so often.
And she's been on the podcast, and she's coming back. And she's coming back. Yeah.
Whenever you let me know. I'm there. I'm happy to do this. And for you all who don't know, we mentioned Camille earlier in the interview. Camille's on here, Brown Lingual Brown Babies, and I'm actually interviewing her next week. So, you know what? The people that Auguste has introduced me to in the group coaching and the one-on-one coaching, these people are phenomenal people. You've already heard from Samoa. You've heard from Imani. I spoke to Damari last night. Camille's coming up. She sees the light in specific people, and these people are phenomenal in their own right, and I am so excited whenever they say yes to me asking them to interview online. So Oh, thank you. I love people, man. I love the connections. I like, if I know you're good, I want the rest of the world to know you're good, because maybe I can't serve the way you serve, and that's what they need. That's the service they need. So this is what
Absolutely.
that's for.
And
All
thank
right, you
you for
guys. If you're
everything.
not, you better be. Follow August Crenshaw everywhere. Just search August Crenshaw on Google. You'll find her for real. She's on
Everybody.
SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. She mentioned LinkedIn as well. Am I missing anything? AugustCrenshaw.com.
Yeah, I
Someone
mean,
just did her website.
yes, rocked it, beasted it. And then as far as the podcast is concerned, I'm on SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeart, Google Play, iTunes, and my website.
Spotify?
So Spotify, that's the one I
Perfect.
was missing.
If you
So
can't find her, contact me. I will send you the links. You have no excuse.
Well, thank you for everybody that
You're
hung in here with us
welcome.
and then comes back and watch the replay too. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I can't wait to see you in person one day. That's going to be fire for real.
Sooner than soon. Yes. Love
Y'all
you,
take care, you guys.
darling.
Thank you so much for joining us. Love you, August. You take care.
Love you. Bye.